Time and distance. This is considered to be one of the most important topic of your quantitative ability section in any competitive exam. Talking about the relationship between the variables which are involved in this topic. There are three variables involved in this topic. One is speed, second is time, and third is distance. Distance is a product of speed and time. Time is equal to distance divided by speed, and speed is equal to distance divided by time. These are the relations between these three variables. Now, about the unit conversions. If the speed is given in meter per second and if you want to convert it to kilometer per hour, you need to multiply it by 18 by 5. And if the speed is kilometer per hour and if you want to convert it to meter per second, you need to multiply it by 5 by 18. Let us solve some problems on distance coverage. These are the basic problems of speed, time, distance. Problem number 1. Prabhakar traveled for 1 hour 24 minutes. He covered first half of the distance at 30 km per hour and remaining distance at 75 km per hour. What is the total distance traveled? Now this span of 1 hour 24 minutes is nothing but 84 minutes. It is 60 plus 24 minutes. So this 84 minutes, if we want to convert it to hour, we have to divide it by 60. So 84 by 60, that is 7 by 5 hours. Now let us consider that Prabhakar traveled a total distance of 2d kilometers. So first d kilometer he traveled at the speed of 30 and remaining d kilometers, that is half of the distance, he traveled at the speed of 75. So what is the time required to travel first d kilometer? It will be d by 30. And the time required to travel remaining d kilometers is d divided by 75, as time is equal to distance divided by speed. So d by 30 plus d by 75 is the time required to travel first half and second half. The total of these both timings is equal to 7 by 5 hours, so called 1 hour 24 minutes. So if we solve this equation by taking the LCM of 30 and 75, which comes out to be 150, the equation will be something like this, and simplifying this equation, d comes out to be 30 kilometers. So d is 30 kilometers, that is half of the distance. So the total distance traveled by Prabhakar is twice d, which is equal to 60 kilometers. Option A is the right answer. Problem number 2. Traveling at the speed of 8 km per hour, a student reaches school from his house 10 minutes early. If he travels at 6 km per hour, he is late by 20 minutes. Find the distance between school and the house. Now these type of questions are very popular in most of the competitive exams. Okay, let us consider the distance between house and school like this. If he is traveling at the speed of 8 km per hour, he is reaching 10 minutes early. Let us assume that t is the usual time in hours required to cover the distance from house to school. अगर उसका स्पीड 8 किलोमीटर पर आवर है तो वो 10 मिनट जल्दी पहुंचता है. It means he requires 10 minutes less than the usual time. So I will write t minus 10 minutes. Similarly, अगर उसका स्पीड 6 किलोमीटर पर आवर है, he is reaching 20 minutes late. इसका मतलब यूजुअल टाइम से 20 मिनट ज्यादा लग रहे हैं. So I will write here as t plus 20 minutes. Let us assume the distance between house and school as d kilometers. Now out of the three variables, speed, time and distance, what is constant in this problem? It is distance. What is distance? Distance is the product of speed and time. So पहला इक्वेशन कैसा बनेगा? पहला इक्वेशन इस तरह बनेगा. Let the distance is equal to speed 8 km per hour and time required is t minus 10 minutes. Similarly, second equation we can make as d is equal to 6 into t plus 20 minutes. Now, what we observe? We observe that left hand side of both the equation is same. So we can equate their right hand sides. So if I equate the right hand side, it will be something like this. 8 into t minus 10 minutes is equal to 6 into t plus 20 minutes. Simplifying this particular equation, we get t is equal to 100 minutes, usual time. Now if we substitute the value of t in any of the above equation, we can easily calculate the distance. Let us substitute in the first equation. So it will be 8 into 100 minus 10 minutes, that is 8 into 90 minutes. Convert that 90 minutes into hours by dividing it by 60. So the distance between house and school comes out to be 12 kilometers. Option D is a right answer. Problem number 3. While covering a certain distance, if a person increases his speed from 50 km per hour to 60 km per hour, he saves 5 minutes. What is the distance covered by him? I request you to pause this video and try this question on the paper, and once you have solved it, you can again resume the video to look for the solution. Okay, let us consider this is the distance traveled by person. If he travels at the speed of 50 km per hour, he requires a particular time. But if he travels at the speed of 60 km per hour, definitely he is going to save 5 minutes. So what is the distance covered by him? That is the question. How we are going to build the equation for this? Let the distance covered by the person is d kilometers. So time required to travel d kilometers at the speed of 50 is d by 50, and time required to travel d kilometers at the speed of 60 is d divided by 60. So obviously this time is less. How much less? By 5 minutes. So d by 50 minus d by 60 is 5 minutes. Converted to hour is 5 by 60. Now simplifying this particular equation by taking LCM of 50 and 60 as 300, we can calculate the d, which comes out to be 25 kilometers. Option B. Problem 4. A person covered a distance from P to Q at the speed of 40 km per hour. He covered 3/5 of the distance in 2/3 of total time. At what speed he traveled to complete the remaining part of the journey in remaining time? Let us assume that the time taken to reach from P to Q is suppose t hours. So distance between P to Q कितना हुआ? अगर उसका स्पीड 40 किलोमीटर पर आवर रहता है तो टाइम पे पहुंच जाता है. So distance is the product of speed and time. So obviously the distance between P and Q is speed 40 multiplied by time t, that is equal to 40 t kilometers. Now it is said in the problem that he covered 3/5 of the distance. So ये 40 t जो distance है उसको 3/5 और 2/5 में split up करते हैं. So 3/5 और 2/5 में split up करने से वो आता है 24t और 16t. As 3/5 of 40t is 24t and 2/5 of 40t is 16t. अभी ये 24t किलोमीटर डिस्टेंस वो 2/3 of the total time में कवर करता है. So I will write here 2/3 of t. So obviously remaining 16t kilometer he travel in 1/3 of the time. Now it is asked in the question, at what speed should he travel to complete remaining part of journey in remaining time? Remaining part of the journey is 16t kilometer and remaining time with him is 1/3 of t. So the required speed is 16t divided by 1/3 t, as speed is equal to distance divided by time, which comes out to be 48 kilometer per hour. Option D. Problem number 5. Rajat had covered 1/3 of the total distance of his trip when his scooter failed. He then parked it and covered the remaining distance on foot, walking 20 times as much time as riding. What is the ratio of his riding speed to his walking speed? Let the total distance to be covered is 3D. Why I consider the total distance as 3D? Because मुझे उसको 1/3 और 2/3 में split up करना है. We can take the total distance as D also, but वो fraction आ जाएगा 1/3 of D and 2/3 of D. So to avoid fraction, I assume the total distance covered as suppose 3D. Okay. Now Out of that 3D, 1/3 of the distance, that is D, he covered by scooter, and remaining 2/3 of the distance, so called 2D, he covered by walking on foot. Now, the time spent is given here. He walked 20 times as much time as riding. So अगर riding करते वक्त T hours उसने spend किए, तो walk करते वक्त 20 T उसने spend किए, ऐसा अपने को consider करना पड़ेगा. Now, what is asking the question? What is the ratio of riding speed to walking speed? This can be solved like this. Riding speed to walking speed is equal to, what is speed? It is distance by time. So distance D, time is T. Walking speed, again distance is 2D and time is 20T. So this ratio comes out to be 10. Option B is the right answer. Now let us understand the concept of average speed. The very first thing that I like to tell you here is that average speed is never the average of given speeds. Please do not take the average of given speed. What is average speed? Basically, average speed is equal to total distance covered divided by total time taken. Please consider this as a formula for calculating the average speed. Now let us try out one or two numericals based on average speed. Problem number 6. A person traveled from A to B at 40 km per hour and returned back at 60 km per hour. What is his average speed for the entire journey? So there are 2 points A to B. जाते समय उसका स्पीड था 40 और वापस लौटते समय उसका स्पीड था 60. So we need to find out what is the average speed. Please do not take average speed as 40 plus 60 divided by 2. ये गलत है. We know that average speed is equal to total distance traveled divided by total time taken. Let us assume the distance he traveled as D. तो जाते समय अगर D किलोमीटर कवर किया तो आते समय भी उतना ही D किलोमीटर कवर किया. So total distance will be equal to D plus D, that is twice D. Time taken. Now timing is not given, but we can express the time as ratio of distance and speed. Time is equal to distance divided by speed. So अगर D किलोमीटर 40 के स्पीड से जा रहा है तो टाइम रिक्वायर्ड इज D डिवाइडेड बाय 40, और वही D किलोमीटर 60 के स्पीड से वापस आ रहा है, so time required is D divided by 60. So this is the addition of timing. So if we solve this particular expression by taking LCM of 40 and 60, and D will get cancelled in numerator and denominator, the average speed comes out to be 48 km per hour. Option A is a right answer. If anybody has again thought of average speed as 40 plus 60 divided by 2, which is equal to 50, that is a wrong answer. Correct answer is 48 km per hour by this formula. Problem 7. A car travels 200 kilometers at a speed of 40 km per hour. It then increases its speed by 10 km per hour every hour for another 5 hours and comes to rest. Find the average speed for the entire journey. Again, I will say that average speed is equal to total distance covered divided by total time taken. So this can be calculated like this. The total distance covered is सबसे पहले 200 किलोमीटर और उसके बाद में स्पीड बढ़ता गया by 10 किलोमीटर पर आवर एवरी आवर. सो नेक्स्ट आवर में अगर स्पीड 50 था तो एक घंटे में 50 किलोमीटर कवर हो गए. उसके नेक्स्ट आवर में अगर स्पीड 60 था तो एक घंटे में 60 किलोमीटर कवर हो गए. उसके नेक्स्ट आवर में 70 किलोमीटर, उसके नेक्स्ट आवर में 80 और फाइनल आवर में 90 किलोमीटर. एज it increases its speed by 10 km per hour every hour for another 5 hours, it is said. So this is the total distance covered divided by total time. पहले के 5 hours, because 200 km at the speed of 40 कवर करने के लिए 5 hours लग गए, और उसके बाद 5 hours. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. So if we take this ratio of total distance traveled divided by total time taken, it is equal to 55 km per hour as the average speed. Option B is the right answer. Now let us understand the concept of relative speed in this topic. This is a very important part of time and distance. Well, we talk about relative speed when there are two moving bodies. And we can define relative speed as a speed of moving body with respect to the another body. When two bodies moves in same direction, the relative speed is calculated by their difference. As you see, both the cars are moving in same direction. So the relative speed of these two cars is difference of their speed, that is SA minus SB. But when two bodies are moving in opposite direction, the relative speed is calculated by their addition. As these two cars are now moving in opposite direction, so the relative speed is addition of their speed, that is SA plus SB. So आपको क्या ध्यान में रखना है, अगर दोनों मूविंग बॉडी सेम डायरेक्शन में जा रही है तो आपको उनके स्पीड का डिफरेंस लेना है, लेकिन वही दोनों मूविंग बॉडीज अपोजिट डायरेक्शन में आ रही है तो आपको उनके स्पीड का एडिशन लेना है. Let us understand this with example. Example 1. There are two cities, let us say Nagpur and this is Hyderabad, and they are separated by a distance of 500 km. One car starts from this city Nagpur at a speed of 60 km per hour, and at the same time second car starts from this city Hyderabad at a speed of 40 km per hour. After how much time from the start will they meet? कितने देर के बाद वो रास्ते में मिलेंगे एक दूसरे को क्रॉस करेंगे? That we need to find out. So I am asking you about time. After how much time will they meet? Now time is equal to what? Time is equal to distance to bridge divided by relative speed. Distance upon speed. So यहाँ पर distance to bridge up divided by relative speed. कितना distance bridge up करना है? Obviously 500 km. And relative speed will be addition of their speed, that is 60 plus 40, which comes out to be 5 hours. Another example I will take here. A person want to catch this bus. He observed the bus from a distance of 100 meters and the bus started moving. The person also start running behind the bus to catch it. The speed of the person is 5 meter per second while speed of the bus is 3 meter per second. The question is, after how much time will he catch the bus? Again, we will apply the concept of relative speed. Time is equal to distance to overcome. Now he want to overcome a distance of 100 meters. So distance to overcome divided by relative speed. That is 100 meters divided by difference of their speeds, as both are moving in same direction. So that comes out to be 50 seconds. So the man will be able to catch the bus after 50 seconds. Problem number 8. Harita leaves from a certain point at 8 am at the speed of 25 km per hour. Karuna leaves from the same point at 9:30 am at the speed of 37.5 km per hour in the same direction as that of the Harita. At what time and how many kilometers away from the starting point do they meet? You can pause this video and try this question on the paper, and once you have solved it, you can again play the video to look for the solution. Okay, so this is the starting point and Harita starts at 8 am at a speed of 25 km per hour. Now as per the question, Karuna leaves from the same point at 9:30 am, यानी 1.5 घंटे के बाद. In this 1.5 hour, how much distance Harita has covered? It is obviously 25 plus 12.5, that is equal to 37.5. So what will be the situation at 9:30? At 9:30, Karuna is starting from this starting point and Harita is 37.5 km ahead of her. Now the question is, at what time and how many kilometers away from the starting point do they meet? time required to meet is equal to distance between them, that is 37.5, divided by their relative speed. Relative speed will be obviously difference of their speed as they are traveling in same direction. So 37.5 minus 25 is the relative speed. So that comes out to be 3 hours. So in these 3 hours, how much far they have gone? Distance from the starting point, Karuna has moved 37.5 multiplied by 3 hours, that is 112.5 kilometers. So वो कितने देर के बाद मिलेंगे और कितने दूरी पे मिलेंगे, that is the question. So कितने देर के बाद मिलेंगे? 3 hours after 9:30, that is 12:30 p.m. और कितने दूरी पे मिलेंगे from the starting point? The distance also we have calculated, that is equal to 112.5 kilometers. So the option C is the right answer. Problem number 9. A police van traveling at 60 km per hour crosses an escaping thief traveling in opposite direction at 48 km per hour. The police has to travel further 5 minutes before it can find a gap in the median where it can take U-turn and start chasing the thief. After how much time after the police crosses the thief does it catch him? Now first you have to visualize this problem something like this. The police has observed thief at this point, let us say, where police is traveling in this direction at the speed of 60 km per hour and thief is traveling in opposite direction at 48 km per hour. So the police need to travel further 5 minutes before it can find the gap in the median here. So if police travel for 5 minutes here, how much distance the thief will move in 5 minutes, that you need to calculate. That is 48 multiplied by 5 divided by 60, that is 48 multiplied by 1 by 12, that is equal to 4 kilometers. So उस 5 मिनट के दौरान thief 4 किलोमीटर आगे निकल जाएगा and the speed of police is 60 km per hour. So in 5 minutes it will travel 5 kilometers. So from this point to this gap the distance is 5 kilometers like this. Now police has taken the U-turn here and now the distance between police and the thief is total 9 kilometers. Now we need to find the time required by the police to catch the thief. This can be calculated as distance to overcome, that is 9 kilometers, divided by their relative speed. So time after crossing the median is distance 9 kilometers divided by relative speed, which comes out to be 3/4 of an hour, that is 45 minutes. So now the question is, after how much time after the police crosses the thief does it catch him? So first 5 minutes to reach up to the gap in the median, and after crossing this gap another 45 minutes. So the total time taken is 5 plus 45, that is 50 minutes. Option D is the right answer. Now let's have a look at one advanced level question. A father starts from home at 3 p.m. to pick his son from school at 4 p.m. One day, school got over early at 3 p.m. The son started walking home. He met his father on the way and both returned 15 minutes earlier than the usual time. If speed of father is 35 km per hour, find the speed of son. Now here, the father starts from home at 3 p.m. to pick his son at 4 p.m. यानी कि फादर का ट्रेवल टाइम फ्रॉम हाउस टू स्कूल इज 1 hour. Speed of father is 35 km per hour. But on that day, he met his son somewhere on the way because school got over at 3 p.m. So father has traveled 52.5 minutes and further 7.5 minutes he has not traveled because it is clearly mentioned in the problem that they returned 15 minutes earlier. यानी जाने के समय 7.5 मिनट से हो गए और रिटर्न के समय के भी 7.5 मिनट से हो गए फादर के. So father has taken only 52.5 minutes to reach from house to point A. At the same time, when father left house at 3 p.m., son also started walking towards the house at 3 p.m. So this distance from B to A, son has traveled in 52.5 minutes, in the same time in which father has traveled the distance from house to point A. Now, talking about the distance AB, this distance A to B, father can travel in 7.5 minutes. Speed of father is 35 km per hour. So how much is the distance from point A to point B? It is speed multiplied by time, that is 35 into 7.5 minutes converted to hour. The same distance AB, son can walk in 52.5 minutes. So again I can write distance AB as a product of speed and time, that is speed of sun into 52.5 minutes converted to hour. As both of these distance is equal, I can equate it, and solving this particular equation we can determine the speed of sun, which comes out to be 5 km per hour. I hope you understood the concept of speed, time and distance. I request you to practice some additional question from any of the aptitude book, which will give you further confidence. Thank you for watching this video.